Yo, what's up squad? This is TechXsense here. And Apple just nuked the timeline with the launch of new M5 products this week with MacBook Pro, iPad Pro, and Vision Pro. And highlights for these devices are 4 types AI, 24-hour batteries, Thread Smart Homes, and Spatial XR Magic. But freeze, if MacBook is in your cart, abort the mission. This launch is straight up sabotaging its value harder than a buggy IO speeder. But what about iPad Pro and Vision Pro? Stick around and we will find out. So today we are deep diving into the benchmarks, the hidden specs, and why waiting 6 months could save you up to $500. Or you can just blow up your workflow. If you are upgrading, this changes everything. Let's rewind. The M5 is built on TSMC's refined 3nm N3P process, smaller transistors, lower leakage, and better efficiency than M4's N3E. We are talking roughly 35 billion transistors up from 28 billion and about a 15% power efficiency gain at similar clocks. Apple calls it the biggest CPU to AI jump since M1, and honestly, they are not wrong. Let's get nerdy. The base M5 packs the 10-core CPU, 4 performance core and 6 efficiency cores, clocked up to around 4.6 GHz. For GPU, it's 10-core as well, now with 3rd gen ray tracing and hardware mesh shading. But the headline is AI. Each GPU core now includes its own neural accelerator block, helping the dedicated 16-core neural engine hit about 50 TOPS. That's double the M4 and roughly 6 times what M1 could do. Unified memory tops at 32 gigs for these base machines with 153 gigs per second memory bandwidth, which is roughly about 27% up from M4. What about real-world scores? In Geekbench, the new M5 scores around 4,250 in single core and 17,800 in multi, roughly a 50 to 20% CPU uplift versus M4. GPU score hits 74K in metal test and around 40% faster graphics. For power draw, 50 to 20 watts, similar TDP, but with roughly 10% better performance per watt. That's how Apple's pulling those crazy 24-hour battery claims on that 14-inch MacBook Pro. But here's where the things split. The MacBook Pro with M5 chip feels like a more bridge chip. At $50.99, same as M4 base price, you're only getting a modest CPU bump. No extra ports, no fans, and no Pro-class memory bandwidth. If you remember the M4 launch, it's the same story. The base was fine until the Pro dropped and crushed it for the sustained load. So yeah, deja vu. If you are doing long renders, Xcode builds, and AI training, the M5 base throttles after about 10 minutes of full tilt. M4 Pro still performs better under continuous load due to its dual fan design and wider memory bandwidth. And also you can expect M5 Pro and Max early in 2026 with 12 and 16 core CPUs, double memory bandwidth, and up to 128 gigs of unified memory. For me, that will be the real upgrade. Until then, buying this base M5 is like jumping on an early beta build. So yeah, my honest take, for base M5 MacBook Pro, you should wait and try to get the discounted M4 MacBook Pro, or hold on for those beefier M5 variants. Otherwise, you are buying the new Apple MacBook Pro for bragging rights and a battery bump. Cool for travel, meh for power users. Now, the new iPad Pro M5, it's a complete different story. And honestly, for me, this thing is the hero of this lineup. Same exact M5 silicon, 10-core CPUs, 10-core GPUs, same 16-core neural engine. But because of Apple tandem OLED display and the lighter form factor, it just sings. With 1600 nit peak brightness, 120Hz ProMotion, all-day battery, Apple claims 22 hours of video playback. And the new N1 wireless chip adds the new Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and Thread support. Thread isn't a gimmick, it's a low-latency mesh protocol for smart homes. So your iPad basically becomes a home hub for your 100 IoT devices with latency under 10 milliseconds. Well, the performance. In Geekbench, multi-core right there with MacBook, around 17.7K average, but it sips power, and you can spec 16 gigs or 32 gigs unified memory, meaning you can run 7 billion parameters, edit 8K ProRes, or crunch BioPython simulations on the couch. Add the Magic Keyboard and Pencil Pro, and you have got yourself a 1.5-pound portable dev system. For creators, students, and engineers, this is the great one to get. Here's the kicker. The 11-inch starts at $1999 and 13-inch at $1299. That's 100 cheaper than MacBook Pro for similar performance, better screen, better portability, and actual smart home chops. So if you are debating, the math is simple. Now let's quickly stop to Vision Pro M5. Apple quietly shipped the same chip inside, paired with R1 core processor for sensor fusion. The upgrade gives you about 10% better rendering efficiency and bumps the refresh rate from 100 to 120Hz, so XR content feels more smoother. And the 50% AI power gains new persona in rendering and spatial environments. Still priced at $3499 and shipping in October 22 with Vision OS 26.
It's niche, but 3D creators and artists will really appreciate that fluidity.
So, overall theme, M5 is not a revolution. It's Apple's shift toward AI everywhere computing. They are stacking neural accelerators in everything, from your laptop to your headset. But this generation shows where Apple priorities really are: mobility, on-device AI, and portability. Personal take, my last upgrade was M3, but I pre-ordered M5 Pro because it finally feels future-proof. The MacBook can wait until Apple drops the M5 Pro and Max. If you need a device today that blends a power, freedom, and brain, I bet it is. And if you need sustained horsepower, hold your horses. So yeah, that's the real story. M5 MacBook Pro is a cool demo, but for me, iPad Pro is worth every dollar. And Vision Pro, well, that's an expensive side quest. If this flipped your upgrade script, hit that like, helps the algo find the real talks. Subscribe to TechXsense and I will catch you in the next one.